What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the live stream. It's been a little bit. Unfortunately, we have been all over the place, and so we are just now getting back into doing the live stream. And I would love to say this is going to be back to a regular, weekly occurrence, but it's kind of hard to say with my schedule being the way that it is, what's going to happen this summer. So I will keep you posted. But as of right now, we should be back to at least doing pretty well a weekly live stream. So first of all, Atlas95, hi bye. I don't know where you went, hi bye, but thanks for being the first to comment. I appreciate it. And from Iceland, nonetheless, that's awesome. Atlison, that's actually on my bucket list. I want to get out there to Iceland at one point in time and not only see the beautiful country, but I also want to Brandon, sweet Jesus, you're just gonna fire right off the bat. Not even a little pre-lube up for the awkwardness here. But yeah, good to see you, Brandon. Which, by the way, your White Monster video is posting Thursday. Thursday of this week is your White Monster video. So anyway, where was I? Iceland. I absolutely want to see Iceland, not only because it's a beautiful country, but I also am dying to see the Northern Lights in person. So I do appreciate you tuning in. Dirty Dan, what's happening, man? I missed you guys. Believe it or not, I don't just say that. I legitimately do miss these live streams. I enjoy doing them. And as you guys know, the last couple have been on the road, so it's been a little weird. I haven't actually been in control of the comments in any of those on the road live streams because Carson was holding the phone. So it is kind of nice to get back into the groove of doing it here in the home studio, which, speaking of the home studio, we have upgraded a little bit. We have upgraded our lighting situation. I'm about to get into that in just a second as to why. But kind of generally speaking, you're going to notice the lighting is a lot better. I actually went and dropped some coin on some lights. So I'll get into that, the reason why, in just a second. Let me catch up in the comments here. Turner G, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in, man. Ryan, what's going on, brother? Is it Aaron? Iron? I don't even know. I'm not even going to guess. But yes, there are hard hat stickers in the store. If you go to, I can't even remember what it's called. It's under other items or accessories or something like that. I can't remember. But they are in there. Which, by the way, is this camera focusing on my face or the microphone? I'm afraid it's focusing on the microphone. My face is blurry. Anyway, whatever. Let's see here. Chapel. Hey man, just wanted to say, help me decide being an operator. That's awesome. As long as you're happy with it, I will take full credit. If you are unhappy with being an operator, then I had nothing to do with that decision. It was all you. But no, in all honesty, congratulations on making the decision to jump over to the trades, specifically getting into earth moving. We're glad to have you here, brother. That's awesome, and I appreciate you sharing the success story with me. I really do. Full Throttle Excavating, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Dirty Dan, legitimately, that's the sort of comments that I get through Instagram from Brandon and from, if you guys know, Nick Santa is what he's on, his tag on here. Those guys give me sanded up lube all the time by sending me pictures of JCB machines and talking about how great Bobcat is and stuff like that. So I'm used to it. It is what it is. So but yes, anyway, so to back up a second here, the reason for the light upgrade. So it's been kind of a little bit of a blur over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So as you guys know, I just got back, a week ago, week and a half ago. Has it been 2 weeks yet? Maybe, I don't know. I think it's been 2 weeks. Somebody help me out. I'm losing my mind a little bit. That's what a blur it's been. But anyway, since I have been back from Minnesota, I was in Minnesota for a full month. It was only supposed to be 3 weeks. We got into the job. Carson realized he needed more help, asked me to stay an additional week. So I spent an entire month out in Minnesota helping on that job. And when I got back into town, Rick, my buddy that you guys are all familiar with from the vlog series, Rick put me on the most technical dig I have been on in my entire career. We were doing and it was a residential sewer tap. Those are relatively straightforward for the most part. So we got into this one, and it was sand. It was a wet hole. It was 15 feet deep directly under a driveway right next to a giant tree. So we had to use trench boxes. We ended up I hit my first ever gas main on that job. So technically not our fault. I'll get into that here in a minute. But I did hit my first gas main on that job, and then the entire, like, one side of this, it was a duplex basically we were tying into. One entire tie-in was directly following the gas lead going into the house, and I didn't have room to actually spin and dump spoils in the excavator, so digging in the backyard meant that I took a scoop. I had to cat backwards, spin, drop my spoils, spin back around, cat back forward 50 feet, go for the next scoop, and that was all up against the residential gas lead. So, like, all the way around, it was an absolute miserable job. So that's what I came back to. The following weekend, and this is where I'm tying it in with the lights and everything. The following, I guess I should say towards the end of last week, I was actually contacted by Equipment World. If you guys know them, they have a channel on YouTube, and you guys might be familiar with the show The Dirt. I had seen like 4 or 5 episodes. I would catch them here and there. Anyway, I was approached by them to take over as the host of The Dirt. So, as of not this week, but the following week, I think will be the first episode. As of next week, I will now be the official host of The Dirt. And that is why I've upgraded the lighting situation. I'm working on doing something with the back wall back here to kind of give it a little better scenery, something that you can look at while I'm chatting. And that is why, as I'm taking over as the host of that show, starting in a week and a half or so. So anyway, that's kind of like the whirlwind of the last couple of weeks for me. It's been a little bit crazy. We had the 4th of July in there mixed in, which is why I didn't go live last weekend. I kind of hemmed and hawed about doing it, and ultimately made the decision that it was going to work better if I just skipped the 4th. So all that to say, let me get back to the comments here. Brandon, BuildWit, dude. Brandon turned me on to a BuildWit podcast. I already knew about the podcast, but he turned me on to an episode specifically and helped me out, Brandon. I want to say that was episode, like, what was it, 75? Give me just a second. Let me look in my handy dandy device here. Yeah, DT075 is the episode number. It's Construction Leadership with Wally Adamczyk. Absolutely phenomenal episode. There was so much good discussion in that episode about things in the industry that need to change, mentalities in the industry that need to change, our view on training. Like, there were so many good things. So yes, BuildWit 100%, Brandon. Chapel, let's see here. Just putting in my app. From what I've been told, these locals are, dude, it's across the board, man. I hate to say it, but it is actually really, really easy. And if you can't find a job in this trade right now, if you're worth anything and you can't find a job, like, you should reconsider being whether or not you're worth anything, because, like, people are hurting so bad for people, which works out to everyone's advantage right now, especially you guys here, because the fact that you're here tuning into this tells me that you got a little bit of a passion for the trades, a passion for the industry. You're going to do fantastic, and now you have a big wide open door for you. So again, I can't say it enough, man. Congratulations on the decision, and I really do wish you luck in your job search. So Curtis Gaming, I'm doing awesome, man. From Curtis, Washington State. I got cousins out in Washington State, which, by the way, we got to pour a drink, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, tradition of the at-home studio, live stream, I should say. It is tradition that we have a drink. Tonight we are going with the Jameson Stout Edition. This stuff, come on, focus camera, there we go. This stuff is seriously good. They basically take the whiskey and they then put it in some craft barrels, some craft brew barrels, and age it in that, and it is stellar. Like, it is really good. So this has actually been my poison of choice for the last, I don't know, a couple of months. I really have gotten to where I like it. So all that to say, to the first live stream back in the studio in the last, like, month and a half. Oh, it's good. It's good. Okay. All right, camera, pick up my face. All right, so let's see here. Dirty Dan, legitimately, this channel is a good part of what finally pushed me to just get after it. Landed a job with Turner. Dang, Dirty Dan. Pulling out, you're not even gonna fool around and, like, let us ease into it. You're pulling out Turner Mining Group, man. Congratulations, buddy. That's awesome. That is really exciting. Now, I'm going to challenge you, as long as it's not going to get you fired, obviously. You got to start shipping me some pictures, man. I'm legitimately a little jealous of the equipment you're going to be working around, because that's pretty freaking sweet. So congratulations, man. That's awesome. Really awesome. Sorry, I'm messing with my software here so I can get some lines out of my face. So let's see here. Oh, Ryan. Yeah, so I will say that too. Up here in Michigan, the heat and the humidity has been god awful. It has been, I say that. Let me back up here. So when I was in Minnesota, that was when we got that fluke heat wave through. It was dry and like 100 degrees almost every day. I'm going to move this out of the frame so it's not as distracting. Just noticed that. I'm sorry. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things. Anyway, it was like 100 degrees. Just ungodly hot, and it did not rain until the last day I was there. And then it rained, and it rained, and it rained, and it continued to rain. And I have been back for, I think it has been 2 weeks now. 2 weeks of solid, like every day, every other day, it rains, and has been just, now we're into the humidity. And I'll tell you, in Michigan, the mosquitoes, oh my Lord, the mosquitoes have been terrible over the last like 3 or 4 days. It's like everything finally clicked on for the mosquito world, and it is awful. So yeah, Ryan, I'm with you with the heat and humidity and now mosquitoes. It's not been a good time. So let's see here. Ryan just got pamphlets in the mail from a large company about 2 hours away, advertising job placements. Yeah. That's it, Ryan. I mean, that's the state of the industry right now, is they're just dying for people. Everybody's dying for people. And I was talking about it with a guy the other day. We are on the cusp of realizing the problem. Like, that's where we're at in the overall how things are going to shape out. The skilled trades is right on the cusp of really recognizing the staffing problem they have on their hands. They haven't even fully recognized how bad it's going to be. That's where we're at in this process. So over the next 5 to 10 years, I don't have any real statistics or numbers to throw out. My personal guess is building costs are probably going to go up 15 to 20%, just because of the amount that, supply and demand, right? Everything is supply and demand, and the labor market is the exact same way. Right now, there is a huge demand for operators. Let's take operators by themselves out of the picture. Skilled trades across the board, whether you're a carpenter, a pipe fitter, plumber, welder, mechanics, like skilled trades across the board are lacking people. There's a huge demand, but there's a very low supply. And so what's going to happen is prices shoot up, because we all want to get paid more, because, hey, who else are you going to pick? And so my personal like, I don't know, forecast, if you will, is that, 15 to 20% increase in building costs. And it's just because of labor costs, because now you have to provide health care, you have to provide some sort of retirement to even find yourself attractive as an employer, and that didn't used to be the case even 5 years ago. And again, like I said, we're just on the cusp as the industry overall, we're really just on the cusp of recognizing how bad the shortage is of skilled labor. So anyway, let's see here. Brandon, unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on the JCB backhoe. I have actually sat in the seat of a JCB backhoe, and it took that long. Literally just sitting down in the seat, I was not impressed, and I very quickly exited the cab and decided I was done. So after that, and since then, I have learned even more about JCB machines over here in the States. In case AP is in here, I want to make sure he realizes that it's only the ones in the States that I will rag on, because I haven't tried a JCB from Britain, made for Britain, made by Britain. I've only tried their American equivalent, and it's terrible. So anyway, oh yeah, 100%, Aaron. Yeah, when the mechanic, we had the same issue at my old dealership. Like, when the mechanic's truck is in disrepair because you're that short-handed and that short-staffed, I mean, there's your indicator right there of how bad it's getting. So Turner, the dirt is on Equipment World. So if you go and search YouTube and say Equipment World, the dirt, it should pull up one of their latest episodes. Wayne was the old host. I did not communicate with Wayne at all. I have no idea why he left. It sounds like he was one of the editors for Equipment World. The dirt was kind of just one of the things that he did, and it sounds like from a career standpoint he moved on, and so they kind of lost their host by default, and so they were looking for someone. They found my channel. They liked that I talked to myself a lot, and apparently I'm good at talking to myself, so they approached me and asked if I would take it over. So that's kind of where we are in the process right now. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty exciting. So oh, Vlad, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us here. Let's see here. I gotta get some water. I drank too much alcohol and now I need water. So what have you heard bad about Turner Mining, Chapel? Just out of curiosity. Dirty Dan, that is the attitude to have right there, man. You got to start somewhere. And in all honesty, the haul truck is one of the best seats in the house. The haul truck and the roller are two of the best seats in the house to learn in, because you get to, there's enough downtime that you get to watch what's going on. It's not too much downtime that you're just totally bored all the time, but you really get an opportunity to see, especially in the mining world, like there's so many things going on, and efficiency of all areas, of all the little aspects of the industry. The mining industry is one of the top ones where efficiency is everything. And so I would highly encourage you to, from the seat of your haul truck, watch what that hoe operator is doing. You're most likely going to be getting loaded by either a huge monster loader or some sort of front shovel. Although maybe it's a rope shovel, who knows? Take some pictures, buddy. Send them over, because I want to know. But make sure you pay attention to how he's running that machine. Sorry, we're salivating a little bit because of the whiskey. You know, watch how he moves that machine. Watch how, you know, fast or slow he moves when he does certain things. How far he's swinging. How, you know, notice he doesn't go too far. He's not getting way above the box of the truck when he dumps. He's staying nice and close. It's all of the small, intricate details of his operating is what you need to be paying attention to. And that way, if you get the opportunity to jump in that seat down the road, you've already seen those things. You know, the way I've always thought about it, the way I've always talked to people is, you can learn how to run a piece of equipment without ever setting foot in a piece of equipment. If you sit there and you watch a really qualified operator run that machine, you're going to know how to run that machine. Getting in it and pulling the sticks is a whole other thing. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't take me that long to teach someone how to pull sticks, how to make the machine move. What takes a long time is soaking up all of that knowledge and that experience by watching other operators, or by seat time learning it yourself the hard way, learning how you need to do things to be efficient and be quick and do it in a safe way. So like I said, it's a very long-winded way of saying that haul truck seat is a fantastic seat to be in. So Ryan, great question. Both. As you know, I don't like backhoes to begin with, but especially the JCBs. You know, in all honesty, I paid so little attention. I remember the overall feel of the cab felt a little chintzy to me, and that's the only detail I can remember to tell you, because at that point I honestly didn't take that much time to sit in the seat. I was actually demoing I was selling Case at the time. I was demoing my backhoe at the same time. They had a JCB, and I just asked them if I could climb up in the cab really quick, because I had never sat in a JCB backhoe before. So it's not like I got to go put it through its paces. I couldn't fire it up and do a bunch of stuff because it was there on demo for the municipality. So I literally just got in the cab, took a quick look around, and went, not my cup of tea, and left out. So, which, get it? I said not my cup of tea, and it's from Britain, where they do tea time. Yep. So anyway, so yeah, both. It was a backhoe and it was a JCB. So Brandon had the heat wave in Minnesota, then came to New York. Now it's been raining for 2.5 weeks straight. Yeah, that's where we're at here in Michigan. It has been raining like crazy. And then, as you guys probably know, we had the hurricane hit down south, and that slowly filtered its way up here. So it's been raining here off and on all day. It's supposed to rain, I think, through Wednesday, and then we're supposed to get a little break in sunshine. We'll see what happens, because it's also been one of these years where they tell us we're going to get a break in the rain, and then it just continues to rain. So anyway, what's wrong with backhoes? Chapel, I will summarize with the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. That is a backhoe. It's you can do a lot of things with it because it's got the front bucket where you can actually hog some material. You got the hoe on the back where you can do some hoe work, but it doesn't excel at either one of those. In fact, it does a fairly poor job at both of those just because it's a large, cumbersome machine. It doesn't have the nimble maneuverability that an excavator does. An excavator will a decent-sized mini excavator will outperform a backhoe when it comes to moving material. It's just a more productive machine because you have a hydraulic system that is dedicated to that digging arm on an excavator, versus on a backhoe you have a hydraulic system that's dedicated to everything on the machine. When it comes to moving material with a front bucket, because it doesn't have an articulation point in the middle like a loader, and you can't turn on a dime like in a skid steer, your turn radius is huge in one of those things. They're not as stable as the other pieces of equipment that could also be doing that job. So I feel like a skid steer or even a loader would be more stable than a backhoe in the situation where you're using the front bucket. So yes, for municipalities and for guys who only want to own one machine and dabble in a little bit of everything, sure, backhoes are all right. But when it comes to any sort of real production, a backhoe is just not the tool. That's why you don't see backhoes on jobs where production is critical. The backhoe is always relegated to the cleanup. So it's one of those that's on site for if you have a guy that needs to bounce around and do a bunch of little oddball jobs, you throw him in the backhoe. If you need a broom to throw on a piece of equipment so that you can sweep the street, you get one for the backhoe. That's why it's relegated to that role, is because when it really comes to production situations, it's just not a production machine. So, Atlison, been lurking around your channel for a few years. Oh, nice. So I've been getting you for a while, is what you're saying. And you went in on Earthwork 2 years ago. I'm glad to hear that I'm helping you out. I throw all this stuff out there because the way I do my channel, just so you guys are aware, if you haven't picked up on it already, I used to sit around in the evenings and watch YouTube videos of other operators. I've talked about this before. Vantageous or Vantages, I never knew how to pronounce their channel name, but the guys from Canada, they worked for, somebody help me out. Who did he work for? The big one, Kidco. I used to sit around and watch his channel all the time because it wasn't, I enjoy watching the equipment run, yes, but what I really appreciated about him is he would dive into, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking about. This is the logic behind it. This is why it's more efficient. He would walk you through all of that. And it's okay, now I understand why these things are being done the way that they are. And there just wasn't a lot of that on YouTube. And so what I've tried to do with my videos is provide that information for other people. I'm trying to just pass on whatever knowledge that I have that I think can help you guys out and help you be more efficient and kind of, as you guys know, this is an industry where no one explains anything. They just give you a set of marching orders and then walk away. And it's well, I don't know why I'm doing this. So how am I supposed to be good and efficient at it if I don't even know the purpose behind why I'm doing it? Because maybe if I knew what step B and C was, maybe then I could find a better way or a faster way for me to do this. But because you only told me step A and that's it and walked off, that's not helpful. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my channel, is kind of give everyone that knowledge base that you understand the bigger picture and you can kind of make your own decisions and everything. So all that to say, again, I'm very long-winded. I am glad to hear that I'm helping you out, Atlison. If there's anything you want to see on the channel, by all means, let me know. I take requests. I will say I'm a little backed up on Down and Dirties at the moment. I recorded a whole GPS series on running a dozer with GPS while I was out in Minnesota, and that is coming up in the queue. So it will be a bit if you have a request, but I will take your request. So currently work for a small company where we've been able to run everything from mini X up to a D. Dang, see, now you got me jealous. I haven't even had the chance to sit in a D9. The biggest machine I've been in on the dozer side is a D7, and it was the electric version, which was garbage. So I'm a little jealous, man. See, Atlison, he's in Iceland, and they don't even like JCB. They're like a small skip down the road from Britain, and they don't even like JCB. I'm not crazy, everybody. JCB is just junk. I'm sorry. I said it. Oh, where's Nick? We need Nick in here because Aaron's back in the Volvos. Volvo's a popular brand. I can't say anything. I have yet to run a Volvo. I will say the only thing I've ever heard about Volvos is everybody hands down loves their loaders. Operators absolutely love their excavators. But the mechanics I've spoken with have said the excavators are built cheaply and they're not the biggest fan of the excavators. I personally don't know what to believe there. That's just what I've been told from some mechanic friends. So, yeah, it's on my list. I've told Rick if we get the opportunity to, and if Alta Equipment, calling you guys out, will ever call us back on our rental questions, I would love to get a Volvo on one of our jobs and actually put it through its paces. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Brandon. Yeah, you see, Brandon's already on it. Brandon likes Volvo too, but Nick especially. Like, Nick should be in here. I texted him earlier and he said he was showing up, but I haven't seen him yet. So every time I tune, that's right, Efix. You're 100% right. We trash backhoes and JCB in here. That's all we do every time. I did. Efix, you weren't in here the week that I updated the group. Yes, I finally went on and watched Doug Girl, and I will say, like, she is a phenomenal operator. I just wish she talked during her videos and it wasn't just like music behind it. I would love to hear what she's thinking and her thought process and everything, but like, she is a phenomenal operator. I really enjoyed watching her videos. So Sebastian, that's a great question. The biggest thing is, let's see here. If you don't have, well, let me read your question one more time so I understand it. How can I make the laborer's life easier as an operator that has little experience? What I will say is, listen to your laborer. So he's going to be giving you hand signals, and I know a lot of times, especially as a new operator with limited experience, it's very easy because your sight picture looking down in the hole is very different than the guy that's in the hole. A lot of times, you know, your laborer may be saying to come up a little bit or to go down a little bit, and from your cab you're going, no, there's no way, I'm already way too deep, there's no way. Don't fight your laborer. Your laborer is your set of eyes down there in the hole, and listen to his hand signals. And it's going to take a little practice. It takes a little time to get used to operating by hand signals versus what you're seeing and what your decision making is. But really listen to your laborer. And then outside of that, obviously keep the hole safe for him. So if he's down in that trench, you need to do whatever you can. Make sure it's benched back well. Make sure the bottom's clean. You're not leaving him a bunch of crumbs and trash he's got to clean up. And even there, again, as a new operator with limited seat time, you will get better at keeping a clean trench and doing things to help your laborer out. That comes with time, and if you have a good laborer, he will understand that, and he's going to be willing to work with you. But likewise, you need to be willing to work with him. And in all honesty, if you want some advice on what will just help you with that relationship with your laborer, and I'm not even saying like the laborer you're going to be with all the time. Even if you rotate laborers all the time, you will get in pretty tight with the laborers when you start asking them the question you just asked me. Pulls the laborer right there. You're not one of those I'm the shit operators. You're there to work with them. I always kind of considered myself working for the laborers, because at the end of the day, they're the ones down in the hole calling the shots. I'm just the stick puller at that point. And so I actually felt a lot of times like I was there to assist the laborers in whatever they needed to get done. And that goes a long way with your laborers when they recognize that that is your attitude. So my best piece of advice, in all honesty, is go talk to your laborers and ask them the exact same question you ask me. How can I make your life easier, because I'm still pretty green in the seat? Tell me what I can do for you, and I'm going to do my best to do it. And that's really going to go a long ways. So let's see here. Atlison, I honestly don't know if she's still uploading. So I popped on, I don't know, eFix, it's been what, like a month and a half or so since we had that whole discussion. And I watched probably a dozen of her videos and commented. And, well, no, you can't even comment. That's the other thing. She's got all the comments turned off, which I understand, because when you're a female in the YouTube world, let alone in the construction industry, I can only imagine. Sweet Jesus, I don't want to imagine what she probably has to deal with in the comments, but yeah, so, but that is kind of frustrating when you can't really communicate back and forth with her, but I understand, I get it. So I don't know if she's uploading still or not. Let's see here, Louisiano, did I say that right? I think it's Louisiano. If I get a job as a heavy equipment operator, will I always have to have a site to go to, or will I have to look for a new site every now and then? So no, you should always have a site to go to. Generally, all of your excavating companies have their work lined out months in advance. So, like Rick and I, you know, it's Rick's company, but Rick and I work all the time together. Rick is booked out like 3 months right now, and we're small. So when you get into the bigger dirt contractors, those guys a lot of times are even booked out like a year or two in advance on major projects. So if you're working for a contractor, you will always have a site to go to. You will always have a set of marching orders, unless you live in a northern state and there is a layoff in the wintertime. That's about the only time you're not going to have a site to show up to. But that's also something that you know is coming. It's very standard in the universe of operating in the north. So it's not something you really have to worry about. Let's see here. Ryan. Down and dirty on trenching. Specifically, are you wanting kind of how to dig a safe trench? Is that what you're looking for? Because that's actually, I don't think I've done it yet, but it is definitely in my queue to do kind of a trench safety, how to dig deep, how to bench, where to keep spoils, stuff like that. So let me know a little more detail on what you're looking for when it comes to that. Curtis Gaming, Hitachi and Volvo. Oh my gosh, is this Nick under another name? Yeah, that's yeah. Brandon, good point. I will say that too. So Let's Dig over there, Chris loves his Volvo. And for me, when you have an operator at that level of that caliber and he really likes a brand like Volvo, that kind of tells me it's not a garbage machine, because he wouldn't stand for that. So, especially because he continues to buy them. It's not like he's got one Volvo and he's just stuck with it. Like, he's on what? This is like his second or third Volvo. So, Phil, what's happening, man? Phil, my man from down under. How is life down there in Australia, buddy? It looks like it's kind of hot right now. Vlad, your channel provides me inspiration to become a better diesel mechanic. I've been working on Caterpillar diesel certification. So Vlad, first of all, I'm flattered that I can help you there. I don't know shit about wrenching. I would like to know more about it, sort of. I don't want to wrench, but I'd like to know more about it. So I'm glad that some of this is translating over to you. That's very flattering. I appreciate it. And congratulations on working on your tech certification. That's awesome. Go get 10 of your friends and have them do the same thing. We need mechanics so bad in this industry, so bad. But I am really, really glad that I'm helping you out, and more importantly, I'm glad that you're subscribed and you're tuning into the live stream. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. So, Dirty Dan, low-key idea in my head. Work my way up a bit, maybe talk someone into getting diesel and iron. Dirty Dan, I'm liking it. I'm liking that game plan a lot. I really am. Because then that's gonna not only give me this wonderful experience of being around D11s again, and then the mining shovels and the mining trucks. But Turner Mining's in pretty tight with BuildWit, and I've been wanting to meet Mr. BuildWit himself for some time and just shake his hand and kind of pick his brain a little bit. So, there might be this stars aligning moment for all of us where we can come together and we can eat dinner at a nice table with a nice spread and all talk about heavy equipment and just enjoy ourselves. So we'll see what happens, but I'm digging the plan, Dan. I'm with you. You let me know how I can support you in that. Yeah, Allison, see, that's really frustrating because she was a phenomenal operator. So for those of you who are wondering where I just boomerang to, we're going back to Duck Girl, her channel. It's absolutely garbage that we have this machismo, I'm a man and I'm the only one that can do this attitude in this industry. That's one of there's so many attitudes in this industry that just need to change. And that's one of the big ones. And that's not even just towards females. Towards females is a huge problem in this industry. But that's even towards other guys too. Like this machismo, like, I'm not going to help you. I learned everything the hard way, so you're going to have to as well. Like, what kind of ridiculous attitude is that to have? So, yeah, that's really unfortunate if she's not posting anymore because she was getting that much crap, because she was a phenomenal operator. And there needs to be more female operators of that caliber putting themselves out there to inspire more females to get in the industry. It has been proven time and time again, females make for better operators. Like, as much as that hurts, even, I'll admit it hurts my pride a little bit, but like, I respect that too. That's really awesome that females can come into this industry and kind of put us on our asses and say, I'm going to show you something, and then do it. Like, I really respect that. And Duck Girl is one of those that I feel she could do that. Like, I feel like part of the reason there was so much hate is because there were a lot of guys that recognized they were not nearly the caliber of operator that she was. And so, of course, what do we do on the internet? We tear someone a new asshole because we don't like when we're challenged on not being the greatest. Or I should say, when we are challenged on not being the greatest. So, anyway, that's unfortunate. Being open with the laborer goes a long way. Had one ask me if I could operate an excavator. I told them if I had some seat time, comfortable, but no means of experience. They were awesome to work with after and made sure they were clear. Ryan, 100%. If you're just honest, and again, kind of going back to the toxic cultures that exist in this industry, you don't need to go out there and be the man. Like, be forward. That's the way I was always the same way, Ryan. I would go to the laborers and say, look, I have some seat time, but I'm not phenomenal on this, and it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 passes where it might take someone else 1. I'm sorry, but that is what you get. And if I was honest, 9 times out of 10, 2 things would happen. The first is the laborer was far more forgiving. They cut you a lot more slack, and like Ryan just said, they were a lot more clear and concise when they communicated with you because they understood you were green. The second thing that did, and it's kind of self-serving, is it took the pressure off of me because I already told them, look, I'm not going to be an expert, amazing operator. Now I don't have to feel that pressure that I have to be that. The laborer knows, hey, you get what you get. But because that pressure isn't now on me that I have to perform at this ridiculous expectation, I actually ended up performing better because I wasn't operating under all that pressure. So it is a little bit self-serving too, but yeah, 100% be honest with your laborers. Oh, Sebastian, I got you. That's unfortunate. Well, even if I don't get to sit down with Aaron and Turner Mining Group, I'm sure they're still buddy-buddy. Because from what I've always picked up online, that was a pretty close relationship. So even if they've got their own guy, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, I want to say they're doing their own podcast and everything too, aren't they? And I think Aaron's been on that podcast, so I think they're still pretty tight. But even if I don't sit down at the table with Aaron, that's fine. I'll sit down with some of the guys at Turner Mining Group. And then maybe, because this is what I do on my channel, Maybe I'll work my way and finagle my way into the seat of a D11. Like, who knows? It could happen. It's probably not, because it's a mining company, and you know that's really not going with safety regulations. But you know, it's also me, and I always manage to finagle my way into a seat. So we'll see what happens. So, yeah, Nick, dude, every time you're like, yeah, I'll be there in the live stream, and then you show up like an hour in, and we've already talked about you like 4 separate times. We've talked about Volvo, we've talked about Hitachi, like everything you get a raging erection over, we've already covered, buddy. So you might as well just sign out now. Ryan, a trench safety video would be awesome. Also, how to be efficient when digging. A couple months ago, noticed experienced operators push and pull the stick to clear the bucket quicker. So I'll make a note of that, Ryan, because like I said, digging a trench safely is a video that has been in the queue for a while. So we'll work on that. And as far as clearing the bucket more efficiently, stay posted, because I want to say, we'll see what happens. I recorded so many down and dirties while I was in Minnesota, it's hard for me to remember what I covered. I'm fairly confident in one of the down and dirties I recorded out in Minnesota, I talk about clearing the bucket quicker and digging more efficiently. But stay tuned, because I can't remember. So, dig trench video. So if you see all the circles on here, those are all, come on camera, focus, there we go. Those are all topics that I am scheduled to cover. Or I should say that are in my queue of requests. So yours is now in there. So we're gonna do a dig trench safety. What am I talking about? A trench safety video. I need to stop talking. It's not going well. Let's see here. Vilhelmer. I'm not gonna try to pronounce your name again. I'm not gonna address that one. I'm sorry. You're touching on the subject that we were just talking about as a problem in this industry. I'm not even gonna touch it. So anyway, they talked about the attitude on 75. What are you referring to, Brandon? I've lost where we were and what we were talking about to know what you're talking about. Bill Soper, what's happening? Is it Soper or Soper? What's happening? Thanks for tuning in, man. So Louisiano, someone who isn't experienced, should I jump on the operator path? So my path for anyone that's wanting to get into the industry with little to no experience is spend some time on the end of a shovel. And I'm talking like at least a season. Spend a season on the end of a shovel down in a hole, because you will get the best education in the industry. I'm sorry, I should have silenced my phone. I'm sorry. The knowledge and the experience you gain down in the hole, you can't replicate, and you can't rush, and you can't really get in any other way other than being down in the trench. And a prime example, I spent two and a half years running loader for a pipe crew. I never got in the hole and actually laid pipe, but I was on a pipe crew watching what was going on for 2.5 years. And I just went out to Minnesota and spent a month with Carson and his team, and one of the things that I was out there to help him with was laying pipe. And guess what? I screwed up a couple times, because while I had watched the process and I knew pretty much all the ins and outs to laying pipe, there were still some aspects of it that I didn't know because I hadn't ever been down in the hole. And so we actually had a couple screw ups where we had to pull a couple half runs out, or 4 or 5 sticks out, because we were going about it wrong, because I thought I knew what we were doing, but because I hadn't ever been down in the trench laying the pipe, I was not correct on it. So all that to say, like, nothing replaces the experience you get being on the end of the shovel. And I know everyone hates to hear that in this industry. No one likes being on the end of a shovel. No one likes putting in that time. But I promise you, the experience you get is invaluable. I can work my way all over up and down a grade rod, because I spent a year and a half down in a hole in a basement running the grade rod for someone that was digging on the hoe. So that's my advice to anyone that doesn't have any experiences. Go spend some time on the end of a shovel and work your way into the seat. Now, Can you get by not going on the end of the shovel and just going and getting right in a seat? Sure. You're not going to have the knowledge that you would have otherwise, but you can absolutely go that route. You can absolutely have a good career going that route. It's just, I feel like you can do so much better when you have that shovel time first. So that's my advice to you. Hey Jackson, what's happening, man? How was Black Widow? I have not seen that one yet. So thanks for hanging out, buddy. Aaron, the problem is older guys don't want to teach the new, and the new guys leave. There's two things there. One, you're absolutely right. Older guys have that whole mentality. I learned things the hard way, so you're going to have to do the same, which is stupid. That's the stupidest mentality. And then the other thing is, there's this self-fulfilling prophecy that's happening in the industry right now, and we're all familiar with it. The younger generation doesn't want to work. 100%, there is a subset of that generation. But in all honesty, there's a subset of every generation that doesn't want to work. The problem is, when you get the attitude, the younger generation doesn't want to work, what happens is, as the old timer, you see the new guy show up on the job without even talking to him, without even giving him a chance. You've already decided that kid's worthless, we're going to run him off the job. And that's exactly what happens time and time again, is you're a complete asshole to the new kid who doesn't know anything about this industry, who doesn't have a dad or an uncle or a grandpa who's been in this industry. They have no idea what to expect. And the first thing they get out of the gate is everyone bitching and yelling at them and telling them they're worthless and they don't want to work and they're worthless and terrible. And guess what? I quit. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit for quitting when that's their experience. That's their whole window into the industry, is a bunch of old guys being assholes and not helping them out at all. So all that to say, yes, that is a huge problem in this industry. That's a huge problem that needs to be addressed. That is part of that culture I was talking about earlier that needs to change. I've talked about it before on here, but we're all too happy as operators and laborers, everyone in the skilled trades. We love calling each other brother. And that's great. It is a brotherhood. It is 100% a brotherhood. But we only like to talk about a brotherhood when it's convenient and when it's like, oh yeah, you see that guy over there at that football game and we're operators and we're brothers, man. But when it comes to the new guy walking on the job, who, by the way, is your little brother, it's a brotherhood. Guess what? As the older brother, your job, yeah, you give him some shit because he's your little brother. But your job is to teach your little brother how to do the job and help him and coach him along and bring him alongside you. That's what a real brotherhood is. So there's a lot of fake brotherhoodness that goes on in this industry that really drives me nuts, and it really needs to change. I love the brotherhood aspect of this industry. I love that camaraderie, but it needs to translate to the next generation and helping them, because they're the little brothers in this situation, and we have to come alongside them and we have to help them. So I'll get off my soapbox. I know that one's getting a little difficult, but Longus and vulvas. That's right, Nick. Longus and vulvas. Camille, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out. Dirty Dan, why do you have to be spewing such hateful statements? Are you serious? They don't... we're talking Turner Mining Group. This is a large, why would they should have 4 or 5 D11s. They must be a small outfit then. That's all I can say. They must be a small outfit if they don't run D11s. Nick, of course, everyone was talking great about Volvo and Hitachi. That's what I said, is I'm shocked that you didn't open the door with your erection on the way in when you heard Volvo and Hitachi being talked about. Miller, what's going on? Just finished a big slip job. We rented a 350 case, 350 Cabelco, and 210 Cabelco. Nice. So I'm going to tell you right now, that Cabelco is one of my favorite machines on the market. Those are solid excavators. And of course, we all know how I feel about Case. Nick especially knows that I have a very special soft spot in my heart for Case. So that's awesome. I'm a little jealous that you had all that nice iron on one job. That's awesome. Louisiana. Oh, okay. I'm with you. See, I'm so far behind in the conversation. Oh, Brandon had to take off. Sorry, Brandon. You're going to miss all the fun stuff now. Bill, how hard is it to switch backhoe pattern when using excavator control? So, Bill, the honest pattern, the honest truth is you will suck for like a day, day and a half while you think about every motion you make, and you're going to get so frustrated. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's going to click for you and you will be on excavator controls. So that's the honest truth about switching between the patterns, is it is going to make for a ridiculously frustrating day, but then all of a sudden it clicks, your brain gets it, and you're off to the races again. So Dozer Dennis, what's happening, man? Good to see you, brother. Sorry, I'm sorry. I am actually genuinely glad to see you, Dozer Dennis, but I was reading through comments as I said that. I'm sorry for being inconsiderate. I am glad you're here, buddy. Let's see here. How hard is it? So we're there. Got that one covered. Jackson, glad to hear Black Widow was a good movie. I'll have to get out and see that at some time. Louisiano, it's crazy all the youngins always on their phones on the job. So that is a big problem. I will 100% give you that. And that's something that I try to address fairly regularly on my channel. You'll hear me talk about it. In fact, I'm going to record another Down and Dirty here in the next day or so that's talking about it was a request of what's the best way to learn all the equipment and everything going on in the job. And my first piece of advice is take this and put it in your effing pocket and don't pull it out unless it is an emergency. Like, you should be observing what's going on the job, not texting your girlfriend or not on Facebook or Instagram or, sweet Jesus, TikTok. Oh my Lord. Everyone wants to talk about TikTok. I don't effing care about TikTok. I'm sorry. Anyways, yes, stay off the effing phone. Nick, honestly, I think that's part of it too. There's probably that there's some defensiveness because they are the old dogs and they don't want some young kid getting on a machine and showing them up and making them feel worthless. But you have to, at the end of the day, recognize again the brotherhood aspect of this, that you got to take care of your little brother. And if your little brother ends up outshining you, like, that's a testament to your training. That's the way you need to view it. It's not that you're an old irrelevant dinosaur. It's no, you took a guy that has great skills, great abilities, and you taught them to the extent that now they can go where you are and surpass it. That's the knowledge you provided them. That's a success story for both of you in that situation. But when you're the asshole that sits off to the side and crosses your arms and goes, I'm not going to teach that kid, guess what? Now you are irrelevant and old, and the kid did pass you by without your help at all. You don't share at all in his success. It's his success, and now you're irrelevant. So you can't have it both ways. So anyway, I'm sorry. Old guys can be lazy. I will give you that aspect as well. It's some of the old timers, once they sit down, I will agree, they do not want to get out of that seat, and I try to address that on my channel too. You're never too good for the shovel. So, Alan, what's going on? Did you talk about your new gig hosting the channel? I did, but I will talk about it again because I talked about it in the very beginning. Thanks for hanging out, Alan, by the way, and tell Noah I said hello. And again, I'm sorry I couldn't come see you guys. But yes, the reason, if you haven't noticed, we've got more professional looking lighting going on. And the reason for that is I'm taking over as the host for Equipment World's show, The Dirt, that is on their YouTube channel. They have hired me on to take over as the host. It's not going to have any impact on my stuff. I'm still doing all of my channels, all of my content. It will continue forward. But that's just an additional thing that I will be doing. And so that is why we have all of the fancy lights, as I'm gearing up because I have my first interview that I'm recording for my first episode, and that is Tuesday of this week is the actual interview. I believe the following week will be the first episode where I am the host. So anyway, that is the new news. So that's right, Nick. Case. Oh. Uh-oh, Brandon. Brandon's having some pup issues. That's no good. Are you going to be able to get him back? Travis just got back to the industry about 8 months ago after being out of it for around 11 years. Woo! Oh, Travis, it's, yeah, 100%. If you've been out that long, the technology out now is just incredible. And it continues to get better day by day. Wait, if you think the GPS is mind-blowing, wait until you get in one of the next-gen Cat excavators and turn on overdig protection. You can set a grade, you can set a depth, you benchmark in the machine. So you put your bucket out here on this point, and you say, okay, I want to be 3 feet below that. And you start digging. And if you have overdig protection turned on, when it gets to the 3 foot mark, you will pull the sticks back full bore like you're digging a hole. The machine will not dig past the 3 foot mark. It will hold 3 foot for you as it does that pull. You're in for a beautiful surprise. That technology, while it's been around for a little bit, Cat just now really perfected it to where you can dig at full speed with it. I have yet to actually sit my butt down in the seat of one of those machines. I can't wait. But yeah, the technology has changed like crazy over the last decade. It's pretty amazing. So, Nick, TikTok is bad. You can stay on that for like 30 minutes. See, yeah, that's the problem is all of these, and that's why, honestly, you guys keep asking if I have a TikTok. No, I don't have a TikTok, and I'm not necessarily ready to get a TikTok because I don't want to be part of that problem. Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth about whether it's worth it. I just, Camille, bought a Hitachi. It's a monster loader. It's a mining company, by the way. Mechanics guy, I don't know. See, Hitachis are one of those that I just don't have any real experience and seat time in. I have very, very limited experience in a Hitachi. I think it was a wheeled excavator. And if you guys haven't run a wheeled excavator to know what a treat that is, like, it doesn't matter whose wheeled excavator it is, it's just not going to be a fun time. So, yeah, I haven't spent any real time in any other Hitachi machines to be able to make a judgment call one way or another. So, Dirty Dan, that's excellent. that made me laugh. That's good. Let's see here. Yeah, Brandon's always sharing me Insta Reels that half the time have to do with JCB machines and stuff. Camille, what's your great news? Let's hear it. Miller, 350 was a solid machine, but the Kobelco was all around faster. Yeah, so that's the thing. When I ran the Case 210 on a job, it's been 2 months ago or so, I loved that machine. Like, the cab was really roomy, it was spacious, it was really comfortable, it was really well designed. The balance of the machine was phenomenal. Even with a thumb and a coupler and a pretty good sized bucket on it, it was not tippy at all. It had power in the boom and the stick and everything about that machine I loved, with the exception of the swing speed. The swing speed was ungodly slow for whatever reason. And so that was, I'm with you on that. It wasn't as fast as it could have been. But that being said, I love Kobelco machines. Like, in my personal opinion, I've said it over and over, Kobelco puts out some of the best excavators on the market. They're fast, they're efficient, they have a lot of design stuff that the other manufacturers just don't even consider, like the craning mode you can put it into. Like, it's a fantastic machine. So I'm totally with you. Alan, thank you. I really do. I know it doesn't really come across in comments when I'm responding in mass and you can't hear my voice, but legitimately thank you. You have congratulated me multiple times on that, and it really does mean a lot, especially because you and I have grown up on YouTube together. I really do appreciate the support. Travis, yes, 336, yeah, absolutely. With the grade control, it's incredible. These machines are so, and getting out of even like the grade control technology, even just the efficiency and the speed that you get out of the machines now compared to, machines 11 years ago, it's pretty unreal what they're doing with this equipment. Nick, apparently, see, Liebherr is one I would love to play in, Nick, but we don't see those at all over here in the States. So, but I'd love to, like, those Liebherr excavators look like really, really solid machines. and they're super popular over there in Europe, but I haven't had a chance. So, Camille, you have joined the Monster Club. I don't know whether to congratulate you or say I'm sorry, because if you're anything like me, you are now addicted, and it's something that you just have to have anytime you're on a job site. I will say, if you're at all concerned about calories, because I am, because I don't want to be a fat slobbing operator, the White Monster, which Brandon Culpepper here in the comments has turned me on to, instead of it being 200 calories per can, it's like, I don't remember, what is it, Brandon? It's like 30 or something, 20 calories or something. I can't remember what it is. It's way fewer calories, and in all honesty, the flavor is pretty dang good considering it's sugar-free. Like, I was highly impressed, and I have now converted. I'll treat myself every once in a while. When it's been a good day and I'm gonna treat myself, I'll still get my green Monster, but regularly I will drink White Monster. So, but I'm glad to have you as part of the Monster crew now, Camille. Congratulations. This glass of whiskey is for you. Let's see here. Equipment from the quarry takes an absolute beating over time. Yeah, quarry work is just, it's constant. I mean, the machines never stop. There's no downtime. It is just go. And like I was saying earlier, like in the mining world, production is everything. So you are just going as fast as you can while being safe. So let's see here. I've been in a Hitachi excavator for a couple hours, but couldn't give her a good review as it had the nickname Old Shaky. Oh yeah, if it's got the nickname Old Shaky, I'm sure she was a real gem. My favorite is when you get in an old machine that's like a spaghetti noodle at the end. Like you stop swinging and your bucket just kind of does one of these things for a little bit and then settles in. Or if you're trying to dig a tight trench, you've got to try to, while it's almost like dropping a plumb bob down in the trench, you got to time it just right. Yeah, those are always fun. So Nick, let's talk about the Cat 320 and running at full beans. So Nick and I were talking earlier. If you guys don't know, you can message me through Instagram. I am actually reachable, and I will respond to you. And so Nick and I, Brandon and I, there's a couple guys in here. Jackson was in here earlier. We all kind of go back and forth on Instagram. And Nick and I were talking about, he was running a Cat 320, and he said the pump was kind of funny when he was grading with it. And one of my first questions was, were you running the machine at full bore? And he said he was running it a little under full bore. So one of the things I will say is, anytime you are running an excavator, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause for just a second because my buddy Angelo is in here. Angelo, what's happening? Or is this Michelle, or is it both? Who am I talking to under Reality is a Comedy? So what's going on? Whichever one of you guys it is, I miss you guys. I need to get a hold of you again, and we need to hang out sometime. But it's been a crazy whirlwind of a summer. We'll have to catch up at some point here. So anyway, going back to Nick's conversation. So sorry, I lost my train of thought there. He wasn't running the machine full bore. He was running it just under. Anytime you're grading in anytime you're doing anything in an excavator, crank the volume all the way. Like, in all honesty, those machines are designed to run at full bore, and they work most efficiently at full bore. And so what happens is, when you don't run the machine full tilt, anytime you do complex motions, especially if you think about when you're grading. Okay, if we're going to grade in an excavator, generally you're booming up, you're sticking in, and you're probably curling your bucket all at the same time, and that's assuming you're pulling a straight line. If you're grading along something, now you're adding in the swing motors moving, all with these functions running. If you are not running full bore, your hydraulic pump is going to struggle to keep up with all of that. And so what ends up happening is you get these weird kind of jerks, and you get these weird twitches in the hydraulics because there's simply not enough flow coming through to keep that system fully pressurized, and you get these weird movements in the machine. So with pretty much everything, I've always told people, You know, when you're loading things on a trailer, everyone wants to crank it all the way down. When you're craning stuff, everyone wants to crank it all the way down. No, those are the situations you run at full bore because it gives you nice, smooth movements. All of your slow, smooth movements need to be coming from here, not from the throttle of the machine. All of your control is right here. And so if you're struggling, you need to work on perfecting this, not slowing the engine speed down on the machine. So that was kind of the discussion that we were having earlier. So anyway, let me catch, we're scrolling on the comments here. Hang on just a second here. Let's see, where did we go? 320 running, there it is. Check out Garrett Wilson. Okay, I'll write a note that we will check out Garrett Wilson. 2 T's? No, 1 T. Wilson. And he's wheeled excavator. Alright, I will do that. Not right now, but I will do that. Brandon, Garrett Wilson is amazing, real humble guy, loves his wheeled excavator. Oh my god, old school machines. Okay, I'll check him out. Alright. Everyone calm down a little bit. Jeez. Angelo, I've said hi to you. Nick, to be honest with you, I see more Liebherr than Cabell. See, that's interesting. That's a Canada thing. You silly old Canadians and your Liebherrs, we don't see them at all over here in the US. Camille, it's okay. That's all you have is it's okay. That's offensive. Yes. Yanmar is amazing. Yeah, Yanmar puts out really, really solid mini excavators. So just a little background. Angelo that's in here, Reality is a Comedy. He is one of my old customers from when I sold equipment that we have become friends. He and his wife are both really close friends of mine. And they were looking for a mini, and so I kind of helped them through that process of what they should buy. And he finally settled on a Yanmar, and he is 100% loving it, and I don't blame him. Yanmar puts out a freaking solid machine. Most of the time it's significantly cheaper than its competitors because they don't have all the bells and whistles on them. Like, they don't have this like plush cab where it feels like you're getting in a luxury sports car. But we're all dirt guys. We don't need that. If you don't need that ridiculous cab, Yanmar puts out a really, really good machine, and it's really affordable. So I'm totally with you. Nick, no sir. Red Bull is not better than Monster. I'm sorry, it's not. And I can say that because I started on Red Bull, and I found the light, and it was at the very bottom of this green and black can called Monster. You should look for it. Let's see here. Nice 17 Liebherr dozer. So it's funny, the only Liebherr I have ever operated was a Deere dozer, and it was like the equivalent to like a D7 or a D8 even. It was a monster. And the only way I knew it was a Liebherr is because when I was getting all of my serial numbers off of it, because it was a trade-in, I got under the hood and it had a Liebherr tag. So it was rebadged. It was one of those where, Deere didn't make anything that big at the time, so they just rebadged Liebherrs and sold it over here as their own. I was not super impressed with that dozer, but at the same time, it was like 15 years old. So anyway, Louisiano, graduated from college, never used his diploma. What a flex. Who are you talking about? Are we going back to Garrett Wilson? I don't know who you're talking about, Louisiano. Oh, so it is Angelo and Michelle. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. I miss you guys. I was thinking about you guys just the other day. Ryan, not only did it look like a wet noodle, it also rocked on the turntable. Oh, yeah. So if you go back to, it's on my main channel because it was before I split the vlogs out. If you go back to the first time I went and saw Carson Shifsky, I was grading out that basement. And I actually talk about it in there because I do a pull. And even with the stabilization of the GoPro, you can see the machine rocking. And I actually mentioned that. I was like, that is not me rocking on the pull. It is literally the machine on the turntable because she's so worn out and sloppy. Yeah, I'm familiar. It's a good time. Uh, I should mention this because Alan, which is Construction Machinery Channel, which I say this all the time. You guys, if you don't subscribe to him or Reality is a Comedy there, subscribe to both of them. They both have really good channels. But they actually know each other from the YouTube world. So, funny almost happening, Angelo and Michelle. I almost got to go meet Alan and Noah. We were scheduled to go meet, and then at the last minute, it fell apart. But when I was coming back from Minnesota here a couple weeks back, we were in Chicago, and I almost stopped in to see Alan. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that trip. So we'll get him on the next one. Let's see here. Nick. They make cranes. That's it. Excavators and cranes. So that was always my big selling point to everyone when I talked to them about Kobelco is they only know cranes and they only know excavators. And so some may look at that and go, well, it's super limited, but actually the opposite is true. They do it exceptionally well because they don't have any of the overhead of all of these other product lines. They only, we always talk on this channel, own your craft. Their craft is excavators and cranes. And so they have all of these features and these extras on their machines that are so helpful. And one of the biggest ones that I love about Kobelco, if you've never ran a Kobelco, there is a switch in the cab that allows you to split your pumps. So in an excavator, if you're not familiar, generally an excavator has 2 to 3 hydraulic pumps that are all driven off of the motor. Those hydraulic pumps all serve different functions, and they're all tied to the same circuit. And so that's why if you're craning in an excavator and you're booming up or you're sticking out or you're just traveling with the foot pedals and trying to swing, the second you move with your tracks, you get this weird jolt because all of your hydraulics slow down. And it's because now your hydraulic pump is having to split some of that oil away from all of your other functions and send it to the final drives. Kobelco is the only manufacturer, and I don't know if it's because of patent or if it's just none of the other manufacturers have picked up on it being this cool of a tool. But Kobelco is the only one I'm aware of that has a switch in the cab that when you hit it, it splits your hydraulic pumps. One hydraulic pump is dedicated to your travel motors. The other hydraulic pump is dedicated to all your other functions. So everything slows down a little bit. So you're not going to dig full speed when you're in that mode. But for craning, it operates like a real crane. Your drives are totally independent. So now when I'm traveling and I'm holding a big catch basin or a structure over guys' heads, instead of me having to worry about easing out of my travel super slow so I don't affect the swing and I don't get the crazy swing with the structure, everything's super silky smooth because you have the ability to switch or to split your pumps. That's just one of the features that I love that Kobelco puts on their machines. Nobody else does that stuff. And what I always came back to is it's because they do excavators and they do cranes. That's the only two worlds they live in right there, and they excel at it because of that. So now I'm off of my Kobelco soapbox. I'm sorry. Let's see here. We got Crazy Canadian. That's right. Crazy Canadians with their Liebherrs. Yep, Aaron just touched on what I just did. Cranes and excavators. Camille, crazy, yep. Nick, like New Deere small loaders, they are Liebherr, not really as good. Yeah, exactly. And it's like Rick and I were talking about it the other day. The Case CX-57 is actually a rebadged Hyundai. And it's not as good as the rest of the excavators in their lineup. So, Louisiana, what age did I join this industry? You're a lot older than you would think. In fact, this may give some of you inspiration that if you're thinking about getting into the industry but you think you're too old, you're not. So I didn't get into the industry until I was like 26. I'd have to think about that one. But it was like 25 or 26 before I got into the industry. I started out, my dad is in the bank consulting world, so I started in the banking industry and learned that I absolutely hated that. And then I dabbled around. I started my own lawn care landscaping company. That fell through. Then I went and wore an orange apron at Home Depot for a while. And then I took over at a company as an operations manager at a manufacturing facility. Did that for a little bit, and that's where I was finally, I stopped beating around the bush, and it was like, hey, I've always wanted to do construction. I told my wife, I was like, I've always wanted to do construction. I want to go run heavy equipment. And she said, okay, we'll make it work. And so I went and got a job making $12 an hour running an off-road haul truck, and that was about 12 years ago. And so really the true answer as to where all of my knowledge comes from, I love this industry. I genuinely love this industry. I'm constantly trying to pick up as much knowledge as I can. I'm watching other operators. I'm watching the other processes that I haven't been involved in to know as much as I can. And for no other reason than I just love it. It's just fun. There's something incredible to me when you get on these jobs and you see what man has built, and then what man is capable of using these machines that we've built. Like, it is unbelievable to go onto a job site 6 months after you've been there and to either just think back to day one or look at a picture of day one and look at how much you've changed the face of the earth with these giant machines that are really incredible when you think about the forces being applied. Take a 385 pulling up 2 foot thick concrete. I mean, the forces that it is required to do that. I was watching a deal today on the Silver Spade, the big mining shovel that was used in Ohio up until I think 2006. It had 100 and something, I went to like 103 yard or maybe 130 cubic yard bucket. I mean, unbelievable. That's crazy to think that thing is suspending 130 cubic yards, like a football length, up in the air, and it's moving that with crazy speed. Like, it looks slow at a distance until you recognize that it's covered the length of like 3 football fields by the time it's done its turn. That's just insane to me that we can do this. So all that to say, like, that's why I just love this industry. And that's why I know as much as I do, is I immerse myself in it all the time. I'm always asking questions. If it's funny because here I'm the knowledge giver, but if you know me in real life, if you've been around me in situations where I'm in, if I ever go to Turner Mining Group, I will not be giving any knowledge. I will be sitting there asking question after question after question, because mining fascinates me, and I've never really had the opportunity to be in a mine and to really learn that side of the industry. And so that's really where all of my knowledge comes from, is I just am really obnoxious and I ask a ton of questions. All right, Michelle, Angelo, whoever is saying that, I'm assuming Michelle, I will talk to you later this week then. Let's see here. Ryan, don't think they would make anything else in the dirt world. Makes sense, they make cranes. Yep. Camille, Doosan, I've been fairly impressed with Doosan, although I was running the Doosan 225 excavator out there in Minnesota, and I don't know if it was just that particular one. They were having some issues with it. I don't think it was related to the hydraulic system though, but it seemed like the boom cylinders and the bucket cylinders just didn't have enough power. Outside of that, the swing speed and everything was really good on it, but it just needed a little more oomph on the boom cylinders and the bucket cylinders. So it would be cool if you guys got to make a video together. That would be awesome. Yeah, that's what we were wanting to do, is sit down and actually interview each other. I think it would have been a lot of fun, but unfortunately he had some plans that were going on and changing, and then we were coming back from Minnesota. It was a ridiculously long drive. It was going to be like another 40 minutes to get over to where Alan was, and I was juggling family, so it didn't work out this trip, unfortunately. Ryan, the John Deere 324 is stupid expensive even for a machine for 40. They still want 80. So Ryan, yes, Deere is super proud of their equipment, 100%. It was that way almost across the board. When we went up against Deere, I knew I could be pretty fat on my margin because Deere was going to be way over me. And I will say this about the 321. If you get the 321 with the limited slips, it is 100% worth it. That machine for its weight and size, performs like an absolute beast. It is a serious machine, especially if you use it for pushing snow. That is, I would venture to say, after hearing back from my snow contractors, I would venture to say the 321 is probably the best snow pusher in its size class and the next size class up. No joke, it will outpush loaders that are bigger than it when it comes to snow. That 321 is a serious machine. Nick, well, why? Like, sweet Jesus, why would you waste your money? Like, that one hurts. Sebastian, grateful to found Diesel and Iron. Does a great job letting grow to where that becomes extremely difficult. Yeah, so that's the thing, Sebastian. In all honesty, like, I'm excited for the growth of the channel. Obviously, you know, to know that you're doing something good and right and it's coming together, like, that's exciting. But there's also a bit of like sadness to it, because so far, and we're on the cusp, unfortunately, but so far I've been able to respond to pretty much every comment in these live streams. You know, I can pretty much respond to everybody that says something, and unfortunately I know it's just a matter of time before I can't do that. And I want to be reachable. I want to be here and be a knowledge base for people, and I know unfortunately you get to a point where it's just impossible to do, and that does make me a little sad. But at the same time, you guys got in here early, so you know you're gonna stay on my little dial list over here that I can touch base with you regularly. So that's the advantage of getting in early. So Louisiana, I always thought asking questions was being buggy. So yeah, that's the thing, Louisiana. It's okay to be a little obnoxious. Because if you come, and I'm not saying you are being obnoxious here especially. In fact, I'll come back to what I was about to say. In this environment, on my channel, on my Instagram, on any of the platforms that I am on, I tell people over and over, do not feel like you're irritating or annoying me. This is what I do. I have intentionally made this my job, and I make things happen so that I can continue to do this as my job, because I genuinely want to help people in the industry. And so you don't need to feel like I'm irritated or annoyed if people reach out and ask a question. And I don't even care if it's something silly like, what is a good lunchbox to buy? Like, legitimately, if it is an industry related question and you need help and you think I might have an answer, ask. Like, I don't get irritated or annoyed at that. That's why I'm doing this, is to help people. I've actively coached probably a dozen people who have been thinking about getting into the industry and needed some help and needed some advice. And like, that's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. So all of that to say, here in this environment, you will not be obnoxious for asking questions. Ask away. And it also benefits me too, because a lot of times that's where I get some of my down and dirty topics is, hey, that was a really good question. I'm going to go make a down and dirty on that because I know you're not the only one that has it. So that being said, there's that answer. But to go back to what you were saying about just in general, be obnoxious, man. Like, I don't think I've ever been in the situation where someone has been outwardly annoyed with me for asking questions. In fact, most of the time, you're asking questions that are directly related to someone's trade, right? And we're in these trades. We all know that there's a pride in being in this business. I don't know about you guys. I'll just speak for myself. I love talking about what I do. I do. I'm proud of it. I really genuinely love it when someone takes an interest in my job and what I do, and I get to go talk about the catch basins running down 23 out here that I set all 150 of them catch basins out there in that road, and no one cares. Like, no one wants to see catch basins that I put in the road with a backhoe. But by God, I'm going to show them to you because I'm proud of it. Like, that was a lot of work, and I built the infrastructure that you're driving on right now. So, you know, the same is true when you're asking questions of guys. Like, this is their trade, and they're proud of it too. And to have someone who's legitimately interested to the point that they're asking multiple questions, most people are not going to get annoyed with you. And if they are, screw them. Like, knowledge is power. So anyway, let's see here. Where did we go? Ton of link belt. Link belt is pretty much the same as a case, just for what it's worth there. Dozer Dennis, are you planning on going to the meet and greet in September in Louisville? What meet and greet? I didn't even know there was a meet and greet, Dozer Dennis. Because now that I know that, maybe. Although, did you guys see what happened to me last time in Louisville? I might be a little gun shy on that one. Louisiana, you don't need to apologize. Ask away, man. Ask away. That's why we do these live streams, is so you guys can ask questions. So ask away. That's right, Angelo, Michelle, whichever one I'm talking to. That is, yeah, good thing you have my cell phone number. That's not going to be available for long. Heavy equipment operator, so sorry late. Hey, thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate it. And we are doing good. We're having a good time here. So, just fair warning, we're going to probably wrap this up in another 30 minutes or so I can have time to watch a show with my wife tonight. But we're not going to tell my wife, but I'm going to have a little bit more of this. We're just not going to tell her. But we're having too much fun. So anyway, back to the comments. Brandon warned me that he was going to try to get me and make me uncomfortable. But what Brandon doesn't understand about me is I'll take it to the next level. And I will say that a nice satin thong, Brandon, is the most comfortable operating attire I've ever ran in. Especially when you take your pants off, because then you get to feel that nice cloth of the seat. Especially if you get in one of the new machines that has the air conditioned seat, because it kind of blows on your butthole. And you've got that satin thong on, right? So you really feel it, and it takes all that ass sweat and just, it's delightful. So, I told you, I'll take it to another level. So Ryan can confirm if you have a question to ask Brian, he will do everything. Hey, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you backing me up on that. Now, I will pay you that $20 through Venmo later. Do I have a video on the best things you need to bring to work on the first day, like lunchbox and boots? I can't remember, honestly, if I have that. Although, one of the topics I have on my notepad here that I'm going to try to record this week is kind of a go bag or a go kit to throw in the trunk of your vehicle when you're an operator. So, and here, I'll give you the down and dirty on it. See what I did there? I'm gonna ruin it, but it is what it is. So I would generally carry a gallon of hydraulic fluid. I would carry a gallon of coolant and a gallon of motor oil. And then I would carry a case of grease. And all of this you're getting from your employer. You don't go buy it. You get it from your employer. Generally, we called it the hog house, your job site trailer, wherever, where they keep all that stuff. But I would use, those 3 gallons, your hydraulic fluid, motor oil, coolant. I would generally have a case of grease. I am a dainty princess, and I don't like having yucky fingers. So I would carry nitrile gloves. I would have a package of nitrile gloves. I would have a bag of rags. And then I would have my electric grease gun. And then generally I would have some very, very basic tools. I am not a wrench. I don't intend to be a wrench for the company I'm working for. If it's something small, I will try to take care of it. Outside of that, I'm not messing with it. So when I say basic tools, I generally had like a mallet, like a decent sized mallet for knocking pins back in. I would have a screwdriver for cleaning out around grease zerks, but then also it doubles because you have a screwdriver, Phillips and flathead. I would carry each of one. And then a couple crescent wrenches. And that way, if you had something where you had 2 bolts that, one you had to hold on to while you screwed in the nut, whatever it was, I would carry 2 crescent wrenches. And that was kind of my go kit that I kept in my trunk every day. And that way, if I had something that needed coolant, I had it. If I had something that needed a little hydraulic oil, I had it. If I needed some motor oil, I had it. It wasn't wasting a bunch of time in the morning. And then if it was small repair stuff, I could take care of small repair stuff on my own. So, Sebastian Turnergy video and all that. Yeah, see, that's what I thought, Sebastian. I can't remember. It is getting to the point where I can't remember exactly what I've covered in old videos, so you guys will have to help me out. Hey, that's awesome. Wheel loader, that's what I'm talking about. My man, that's right. What kind of wheel loader are you in, out of curiosity? That is awesome. That's really exciting news. Dozer Dennis, Dirt Perfect is setting. No, I need to. In fact, I need to get in contact with Dirt Perfect, and talk to him a little more. But no, if there's a meet and greet in September, I'd totally be down for that. Because you know the YouTube content with all of us, we need to get Frank to come out for that. I've been dying to meet Frank too, so we need to get him out. That would be a good time. Keep me posted on that if you don't mind. Keep me posted. Let's see here. Brandon, you're only laughing now because you haven't tried it. Like, I'm telling you, you won't be laughing. You're gonna be like, wow, that is really nice. The wind on my butthole is really nice. That's right, Ryan. I'll get you that $20. Joystick steering is a shoulder saver on a loader. I never, unfortunately, got the opportunity to drive a loader that had joystick steering. I got close, but didn't quite get my way into that seat. So I always had the regular steering wheel. I don't know. It's one of those things. If you don't know any different, I guess I can say, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Super early day tomorrow. Hey, Angelo and Michelle, thanks for hanging out, guys. I really do miss you. And at some point when my schedule slows down, I would love to come see you guys again. So we'll get together. At some point in time, we will get together. You guys have a good night. Yeah, Brandon, if you could get Pushy Six to come down from what is he in Saskatchewan? He's way the F out there. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Sebastian. I didn't remember if I covered that on my what to expect your first day or not. But that gives you kind of your basics to bring with you. But I am going to record that kind of go bag video that I was talking about earlier. We will record that one here this week, and then it's probably going to be a couple weeks before it posts. But oh my gosh, I'm all caught up on the comments. Let's pop over here and see how many people we got in here. 18 of us. That ain't bad, especially considering I haven't done a live stream in the last like 3.5, 4 weeks. Let's see here. Corey Easton. Corey, I haven't heard from you tonight, have I? I don't think I have. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Started as a laborer within months, moved up to pipe layer. Good for you. After about 5 years loading pipe, now bounce between pipe layer and getting operator time. That is 100% the best way to do it, Corey. 100%. If you can lay pipe, in fact, if you go into, man, it's been like 3 or 4 weeks now, maybe even 5 weeks back. There was an interview with John Fetchko, which is the owner of Fetchko Excavating out of Medina, Ohio. I did an interview with him, and that is 100% what he said is he will turn down a loader operator that's asking to be hired that has never done pipe work because he's more dangerous to put in the seat of a loader than a pipe layer who's been doing pipe work for X amount of years, putting them in a loader. Anyone can learn to run a loader, but learning where you need to be and what's safe and what you need to be doing and how to keep people out of danger, that is far harder to learn, and you learn that from being on the job and being a pipe layer. So if you haven't watched that one, Corey, I would highly encourage you to watch that one. I think you glean some good information out of that one because it sounds like he's talking exactly about your experience. So Brandon, that's a great question, and that actually goes back to our conversation. So Brandon and I have actually had a couple discussions about food and health, and let me know what you guys think. I have been kicking around the idea of doing some videos that are kind of geared towards eating healthy, like small things you can do to get your blood flowing and get out of the cab and try to stay not necessarily full on in shape, but not becoming a tub of lard in the cab. If you guys are interested in doing that, I've even thought about doing like a fitness challenge that's stuff that you could do while you're operating to kind of, again, get your blood up. But yeah, if you guys are at all interested in that, let me know, because we can talk down that road. I'm not opposed to going there. I just don't want to turn my audience off because I'm some like health hippie in the excavator world. So, but to go back to what Brandon was saying, I'm super lucky. And I'm not being sarcastic at all. My wife prepares my lunches for me, and she does a great job of balancing like things that are good, but at the same time she doesn't like destroy me with giving me candy bars and junk food and chips and stuff like that. So generally a lunch for me, I really like sandwiches, and so I'll do like a ham and turkey sandwich, and then I will have a small thing of trail mix, because if you've ever looked at trail mix, it is astronomically high in calories. And so I will do a small Tupperware that's about this big, and we'll go maybe that deep with trail mix, and that's kind of my afternoon pick-me-up. And then I have an iced coffee that I do. And so what works for me is I'm good till lunch, and generally about lunchtime is when I start getting bored, and that's when, as we all know, we get hungry. And so then what I do is I'll have lunch. That'll hold me over till about 1:30 or 2. Then you start getting a little tinge of hunger. I'll pop my trail mix open, and I'll eat like maybe a third of it, maybe half of it, and then I'll put it away. And then when I start to get a little tinge later, or I get bored, that's when I pop my iced coffee out, which is my afternoon pick-me-up, because again, we're trying to stay away from the monster. And then if I need it towards the end of the day, I will finish off my trail mix. I personally, that's kind of my own little goal for myself. I try not to finish my trail mix, and I try to leave those calories in the box. So that's one of my lunches I do pretty frequently. Give me just a second. I'm going to disappear for just a quick second, because I want to physically show you what I eat. This is a really good question. I'm going to show you. I'll be right back. Okay, told you that'd be super fast. So this is the other thing I eat. This guy right here. So my wife found these online. And I will say, out of all of these, Thai chili is by far my favorite. I've tried jalapeno, it's okay. I've tried sriracha, it's okay. The lemon dill and those, I was not a fan. This is tuna fish. It is 90 calories for this little pack. So I will pack this in my lunch, and then a sleeve of crackers. And basically every 2 or 3 bites of tuna, I'll have a cracker, because crackers are super high in calories too, because it's all carbs. And so that is a phenomenal lunch, and tuna really holds you over. It's tuna, which is also really healthy for you, because it's got those omega-3s and everything. So this is one of my favorite lunches, believe it or not, this little tuna packet. And every job I've been on that I've eaten these, I get weird looks until I tell the guys to try it. Every single person I've had try this Thai chili loves it. And they're cheap. They are absolutely cheap. So I want to say those are $1 a packet. Like, they're really, really cheap. So anyway, that's what I try to do for lunch. And in all honesty, this year I have not gained any weight in the cab. Which, as you guys know, is pretty not typical when you're sitting in a cab running equipment all day. So, anyway, we can do a whole series of videos on food. If you guys are interested, we can put together some sort of health challenge, maybe on Facebook or something, if you guys are interested. For real, let me know, because we can absolutely do that, but I'm not obviously going to waste my time putting that all together for like 2 people to get involved in it. So maybe we can send out some feelers somehow, but shoot me a message if you guys are interested. Genuinely, you'll see my email's showing right now, thatdiggerdude@gmail.com. Shoot me an email and let me know if you're interested, and I'll try to put something together. All right, going back to heavy equipment operator. Sorry, man. I know we got way off track there for a minute. Operating a 972. Dang, that's not even a small one. That's a decent sized loader. Operating 980 all gyro joysticks, 724, 840. Dang. I'm jealous, man. Those are some like legit loaders. You're not even on the small stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, Sebastian. Dude, of course if you're running on Lunchables and energy drinks, you're gonna gain a shitload of weight. That's all carbs and sugar, man. Yeah, and that is one, again, I go back to, I am lucky because I have a wife that is health conscious, and therefore I know a decent amount about health. So yeah, if you guys are interested, we can absolutely talk nutrition, because that's another thing, is so many guys in this industry are either single, or they've never been married, or they're divorced and they are preparing for themselves. They don't know anything about nutrition. Like, I have no problem going and talking. I would love to do that. That's another thing our industry really needs, is a little more focus on overall health. Because we're all in the industry. There's so many guys that get out of that cab and they fill the cab because they sit in there and eat junk all day long, and they don't move. They just sit there and pull sticks all day. So we can do it. So Ryan said he'd be interested. Doing stuff after work 3 days, having some sandwiches for 2 meals a day, getting old fast. Okay, all right. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to write it down. Let me do some thinking on how we could potentially do this. Maybe I can find some exercises that we could do, like getting in and out of the machine 5 or 6 times an hour or something like that. So, let me do some noodling on that, guys. We'll try to put something together. So, let's see here. Boom. Brandon, barbecue tuna. I don't think I've tried the barbecue tuna. I'll see if I can find that somewhere. Ryan, I honestly don't remember what I have for the hold music, because when I put that on, it's silent on my end. So I don't remember what I have, but I think I did have to update the hold music. In fact, let's do this. I can figure out real quick what I put on for the hold music. I'm going to put you guys on hold for a second so I can actually listen to the music. I'm going to be right back. Oh yeah, the Bossa Nova. I forgot I put that on there. Yeah. So I recently switched over. This is where we go down the wormhole of like the video production side. I used to use Epidemic Sound for all of my music, and I stopped using them, and I'm using someone else now. And Epidemic is one of those, like, if you weren't subscribed to them, they come after you. So I had to shift all of my music over to the new place, and so that's my new hold music. So yeah, I'm glad you like it. I wanted to do something that was like cheesy hold music, and I think that captures it. So Brandon, we're gonna be done in 15 minutes, my man. It's 9:13. I want to be out of here by 9:30. So let's see here. Andrew, old lady packs my lunch every day. Started packing me a lot of fruits like watermelon, pineapple. Ooh, pineapple. So I'm weird. I will fully admit that I'm weird. I've never been a fan of pineapple. I've tried 100 times to like pineapple. It just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, watermelon. Jeez, I gotta get that one right. So watermelon, I've never been a fan. Oh, sorry, my wife is in here stealing my booze. There you are. I'm done in 15 minutes. She came in and stole my alcohol, and so I'm sorry. Interruption. Anyways, never been a fan of watermelon, but pineapple. Oh my Lord. When pineapple is ripe and ready, oh, it's so freaking good. About the only thing that's better than that is a peach that is ripe and juicy and soft. And I'll tell you what you do with it. Now that we're on the health thing, I'm going to totally screw it up. Take a peach, or nice, ripe, soft peach, and slice it up and put it over vanilla bean ice cream. You can do homemade vanilla too, but vanilla bean, for whatever reason, just pops with those peaches, and oh my Lord, is it good. It's so good. That's one of my favorite summertime desserts. So anyway, now I'm getting hungry. Guys, damn it. We just got through talking about being healthy and now you're getting me all hungry. Anyway, so heavy equipment operator interested in the lunch topic. Okay, let me do some thinking over this coming week and put together some stuff. I'll talk with my wife too. She can put together some meal preps possibly, and we can post those up. I'll try to figure out where I can post those up that they'll be available to everyone, and maybe we can do that this week. So, canned sardines and beans and weenies. Oh Lord, that's not good. Guys, I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna go steal something back from my wife. I'll be right back. All right, I'm sorry guys. I know here at the end I'm gone all the time, but she didn't have what I was looking for. She used to do some meal planning for some people. I will see as part of this if we can throw some meal plans together for guys so that you've got like a week or two worth of different meals that you can try out, and we can talk about, you know, things like tracking calories and stuff like that. So let me see what we can put together over this next week or so, and we'll try to get something going. Maybe I'll start like a Facebook group or something where we can all kind of touch base with each other. And I'm all for it. I could use it. I need to lose a little bit too. So, yeah, Brandon, I'm gonna see about doing some videos, some down and dirties on operators and eating healthy. Getting out of the cab. That's a big one for us as operators, is not wanting to get out of the cab once you get in for the day. Yeah, let me see what I can do for getting you guys some meal ideas. My wife will really be good for this. Maybe we'll get some videos of my wife talking about some different meal plans because she's really good at that. Oh, Ryan. Pineapple should never be put on pizza, ever. It's like a sin. And I think, unfortunately, it's not known to many people, but if you put pineapple on your pizza, I think you might be destined to go to hell because it's just that bad. It's bad. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm sorry. It's terrible. So, yeah, I can't do that. So, Jackson, I'm glad you like the hold music. I, too, found it relaxing. I thought it would be enjoyable for everyone. So, So, Alexis, my wife is a stay-at-home mom. That was one of the reasons I switched from working at my small. I started with a residential company doing basements and stuff, and that's really what transitioned me to jump over onto the large-scale civil projects and join the union. Was we had our first kid on the way, and it was really important to both of us that she'd be able to stay at home with our kids. So she is a stay-at-home mom. Um, excuse me. I have two boys. One just turned 5, and one is about to turn 7, and they are 100% boy. My wife is a great boy mom. We have bugs that come in the house all the time. In fact, one day last summer, we couldn't figure out why in the world we had all of these moths flying around the house. And then my wife randomly came around the corner to one of my sons saying, I got another one, and he opened the door and released the moth into the house. And my wife said, why are you doing that? And my youngest said, there are pets. So we had like 15 moths flying around our house for a day and a half until we could finally swat them all down. So that is our life. Email you the name of the company you work for? Yeah, absolutely. Email me the name of them. I'd love to look into them and keep me posted on that. Shoot me some pictures if you have the opportunity and you're not going to get in trouble. I'd love to see some of those mama loaders you're running. That's awesome. Can you put metal into some of your vlogs? Let me see what I can do, Jackson. Metal is not really my choice of music, but let me see what I can do for you. We'll see if we can work it in at some point in time. Colton's Farm, hello. Thank you for joining us. And I apologize that you joined us so late, because in about 10 minutes we're going to shut her down. But thanks for joining. Alexis, we do homeschool. So we do that for a couple reasons. My wife was a school teacher before we had kids, and the state of the education system here in America, it's terrible. It's really awful. It's all about standardized testing. It's like they don't teach science and social studies or anything anymore. It's all about teaching the test and how to take the test. And so that was a big problem for us. And then we just had a number of things happen that we decided to homeschool. One of them is the area that we live in. So we're about 30 minutes north of Ann Arbor. And Ann Arbor has a huge homeschool community. And so there's lots of co-op opportunities where you can actually get your kids actively engaged with other kids. Because that was one of our big things when we said we were going to homeschool. We did not want to have the weirdo homeschool kids that sewed their own clothes and didn't know how to socialize with people because they had only been around farm animals their whole life. Not going to happen. So we got very involved with the co-ops, and like my 7-year-old, 6, almost 7-year-old, has actually attended some classes with like formal classes, like he was going to school. That have been done through the co-op. You can do co-op sports. So yes, that's what we do. Yeah. Aaron, any way to not have the cab not smell like cigarettes all the time? So my secret weapon to all of the nasty smells and to the fact that your cab looks like a filthy animal lives in it is Pledge. Use lemon, or my personal favorite is orange scented Pledge. You spray that down, wipe your cab down. Not only does it look almost brand new, but it smells like citrus. It does not smell like cigarettes. So that's the way to do it, buddy. Get yourself a nice big old fat can of Pledge. Once every couple days, spray the old cab down, give her the old wipe down, and you're good to go for like 2 or 3 days, and it smells delicious. Colton, what do you think of the new Cat all joystick driving track loaders? Are you talking the official, like the full-size track loaders? Because you're about to open a can of worms here. I have not run a track loader. It is my bucket list. I want to run a freaking track loader so bad I can taste it. I actually, if you're new to my channel, last year I tried to go to Louisville, Kentucky and go work with a contractor who said he would let me run one of their track loaders and dig a basement with it. and then he totally stood me up after we booked everything and literally drove to Louisville. So I don't have an opinion on the new track loaders because I haven't had a chance to run one yet. So unfortunately, that is my backstory when it comes to track loaders. So Clayton, thanks for tuning in. First of all, I appreciate it, and thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. Let me know if there's anything you want to know, if there's a topic you want covered. I am here to serve you guys. I'm here to give you guys the knowledge if I have it. So feel free to request away. Thanks, Alexis. Absolutely. If you've got any other questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. And so when you say you're planning the same, do you have young ones already? Do you have some on the way? What's your status? Do you have kids yet? Okay. Colton, I'm sorry. You must be new to the channel. I hate JCB. I'm sorry. It's nothing personal. I just hate JCB. I've had bad experiences with them. I sold equipment for 2 years, and most of the guys that I knew outside of farmers that had JCB, they just did not hold up. They're great farm machines because for the most part, that's relatively light duty work compared to the dirt world counterpart. So farmers absolutely loved them. But outside of the farm side, JCB just did not hold up. They were really, really not well constructed machines. So I personally do not like JCB. So see, Ryan, I did pretty good. That wasn't a full 5 minutes. I feel like I've settled myself. I recognize that Colton Farms is new and he doesn't know my stance on JCB. So let's see here. Carson 214, she's a good backhoe. Oh my lord, we're getting JCB and backhoes back to back, like my two things that I hate. I feel like someone, maybe Nick even has switched accounts and he's just messing with me at this point. Spray some Axe. There you go, Jackson. There's nothing better than spraying some Axe and making your cab smell like a teenage guy. Like that absolutely will take care of the trick, or do the trick. Take care of the, can't talk, I'm sorry guys. Louisiana. Yeah, no, I have not run a full-size track loader. That's one of my bucket lists. So I have some bucket list machines. I want to run a D11. I want to run, like, I'll accept a 963. I really want to run a 973 cat. Like, I really want to run the big ones. I would love to get into a mining shovel at one point in time. I don't need to load a truck. I just want to play around for a little bit and feel what it's like to carry, 30, 40 yards in a bucket around. Like, that would be amazing. But yes, track loaders are like the forefront of my bucket list equipment that I want to run. I am dying to run a track loader. So they're just freaking awesome machines. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get you a track loader. I'm sure a company. So Andrew, what company are you working for? Because you got Aaron Witt on site all the time. Like, he's not going to run anything outside of a skid steer. The guy loves skid steers. I don't get it. Like, you live in the world of huge, redonkulous equipment, and you're obsessed with the little pipsqueak machine that they use to clean out under all the conveyors. Like, what is up with that? I don't get that, but to each their own. But I would love to. I'm dying to run a track loader so effing bad. I want it. Colt, when is the next trade show? That's a great question. I honestly don't know. Con Expo, we're still a couple years out from. I don't keep up with industry trade shows. I'm hoping with this new gig I just got with Equipment World that I start to get a little more in tune with those. But as of right now, I honestly don't know. Wisconsin. Nice, Clayton. ATS, learned a lot there as well. So how long was your program? And if you don't mind me asking, feel free not to share, totally understand. But just out of curiosity, what did you pay for that training and how long was the training? So a little behind the scenes on this end, Rick and I have really been talking pretty hard about trying to put together some sort of a training program for new operators where instead of you just learning to pull sticks, you would actually come out, you learn how to work with trench boxes, you learn how to set pipe. We teach you how to run a loader like you were running for a pipe crew. We would start to get into some of the more technical aspects of operating, and I'm talking like legitimate. We would put water in the hole and it's going to cave in, and you guys have to figure out how we're going to approach it in a safe way, and real experience. So I am curious what you guys are paying for these trade schools and roughly how many hours of training you're getting for that, because that's really playing into, can we do our thing and stay competitive with those guys. So yep, that's right, Jackson. I love backhoes. They're just so good, and they warm my heart to talk about backhoes. I just love them. Colton, so it's fair warning, it's been funky this summer because I do a lot of traveling and I do a lot of stuff during the summer, going and working with different contractors, and then I try to have a little bit of life myself. So we haven't been consistent, but in theory, the live streams happen every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that is traditionally when I do my live streams. I'm going to try to, now that I'm back in town, do it more consistently. But I just spent a month out in Minnesota working with a contractor friend of mine. So yeah, it hasn't been super consistent, but 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays is when I do my live streams typically. Let's see here. I know, Ryan, that's it. You guys wait and drop all these bombs on me right before we get off of here, and I'm gonna have to take an hour to like calm myself back down. Colton, I don't know that. Do they have a name for the new logo? I don't know that they do. It looks like a kid's freaking logo. I'm not a fan of it, but yeah. See, that's the way I am, Colton. I just want to run everybody's stuff. I'm all about trying everybody's equipment, and I'm a little biased in certain ways towards Case a little bit, maybe. But no, I legitimately want to just run everybody's stuff. I just love running equipment, and I like seeing everybody's take on it. So, let's see here, Carson. Why you have two machines? Well, one can get the job and make more. But that's the thing, Carson. So, Carson, I'm gonna walk you through it. I can bring out a mini and a skid steer, and I'll work circles around your backhoe all day long. So yes, you've brought one machine to the job, but if I can do the job in 3/4 of the time that it takes you to do with your backhoe, and then I can move on to another job, but you're still dinking around because your backhoe's too slow, was it worth it? Especially if I get a big enough trailer, I can take my mini and my skid steer on the same trailer. Yes, I've purchased two machines, but I'm that much more efficient in them. That's why I don't like backhoes. They're not really phenomenal at either job that they do. They're okay. Colton, I am not those are called foot swing controls. I know that for a fact because I used to sell Case equipment. And by the way, you can still order foot swing controls. They are the standard option from the factory. It is a little known fact that foot swing controls are standard from the factory. Anything else, whether it's the wobble sticks or you go up to pilot controls, you have to special order. It's standard now that everyone special orders it, but the base model comes with foot swing. I've never gotten good at foot swing, but I will say I do like the aspect of foot swing that every movement is totally isolated with those joysticks. I feel like you can be a little more precise with those. So I like them. I just have never gotten good at using them. So, let's see here. All right, guys, I'm going to start wrapping up because we're actually over time. So let me work through whatever comments are here, and then I'm going to wrap her up. Let's see here. That'd be awesome. I paid $16,000 for 6 weeks of training, but we go through a lot of different stuff. Okay. So that's kind of on par with what we're thinking is, in fact, I would say we're going to be under $16,000 for that length of time. So I'm assuming, did that include housing, or was that only for your school? I don't know how the housing works with them. Especially because Case still has that. Exactly right, Ryan. It's got it as the base option. A 580 SL. That's a good series. The L series was a good Good series of backhoe. Andrew from Missouri, operator for Rock Quarry. Welcome to the live stream. Unfortunately, we're about to shut her down. I'm sorry that you joined so late. So next Sunday, join at 7:30 Eastern time, and we're going to be here for 2.5 hours. But unfortunately, you're catching us on the tail end. But I do really appreciate you tuning in, and I am really glad to have you here. Risha, you had me going there for a second. I was about to say, are you effing kidding me? But I appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in, and thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Colton, I prefer of the 2-stick controls. I don't like the big wobble sticks. I like the pilot controls like an excavator. Clayton, I was in Wyoming, Minnesota, working with Shifsky companies. They are actually out of... And where are they out of? I just lost the name of it. I can't remember. But Shifsky Companies is who I was working for, or with, I should say, out there. Jackson, I don't remember what the GIE is. Isn't that that's one of the big landscaping shows, isn't it? I can't remember. Colton, I think what happened with that dozer is they recognized there wasn't really a market for it. No one really wants to doze at that high speed. Like most dozers, it's not the speed of the movement of the dozer. It's can it push more material for its size. And that's where I feel like the 764 really, it solved a problem that no one had, which was I need to doze 1,000 times faster, and no one really had that problem. So that's I had the same thought though. Where did it go? But the more I thought about it, the more it's like, yeah, no one has a problem of dozing too slow. So, yeah, Dominic. Yeah, I've filmed DNR actually quite a bit. So, that job site on 96 and 59 is, without disclosing my true location, is like 5 minutes from the house. So that was a sweet cherry pick of a spot there to go grab that one. So Case have a Series 4 backhoes now. They are on the they're on the N series dozers. N is in Nancy. Anyway, Brandon with the daddy. Oh my gosh, killing me. Parker, just pass it to... I'm sorry, we're doing rapid fire because I am really trying to wrap up, guys. I'm sorry. Just passed test for apprenticeship. Now I need to find a contractor that will get a letter of intent to hire. Parker, it won't take much, man. They're seriously looking for people, like hardcore looking for people. So keep plugging away at it. I guarantee you're going to find something within a week. So, Rasha, don't apologize, man. Dude, razz me as much as you want. I enjoy jabs, as you will find here in the comments. Like, everybody gives me a hard time. It's part of the fun, man. Don't worry about it. So, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks, guys. Ryan, Colton, everybody, Rasha, Andrew, like everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out. As always, we will catch you guys next week. Back here on the live stream, 7:30 Eastern time. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and we will catch you guys on the next one.